Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So in this video, I'm going to talk about something which is really very crucial because whenever we are working on a project, for every project to maintain that either the code or to maintain the versions or to have a backup of the code, we definitely have to use one or other version controlling systems, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can connect Studio or a particular project to to any of the version controlling system, and how we can commit the code, how we can push the changes on daily basis, and all things about it. So if you are already working in a project, then by this time you might have already been familiar with the importance of doing this. And if you're someone who is fresher or never worked in a real-time project, then also it's not a problem, because I'm going to cover everything right from the scratch, like how you can create a repository and how you can access that in Studio and how you can push the changes. So without any delay, let's get into the video and see how we can do all these things. So in this video, I am going to concentrate on a version controlling system, which is GitHub, and the most popular version controlling system. Everyone knows about it, right? So let's go. So what you have to do is, if you are already in a project, then you don't have to create a repository. The one who has permissions on it would be creating one, and they would be providing you a HTTP link in order to deploy your code into that particular HTTP link. Okay, so here I'm going to show you. If you have a HTTP link handy, then that's well and good. If you don't have, if you want to know how you can do it for your personal use, then you just create a GitHub account, and here you have an option called new repository, beside which you have to give a repository name. Just give whatever the name that you wanted the project to be seen as, and then you can either give a public or private permissions. So if it's a public, anyone can see this, whoever can access that link. And private means you can have the option to give the permissions for them, and then just create a repository. Just that's it. Once after you do it, you'll get this HTTP link. So we are here right now. I just created a repository, which is demo git commit project, and I'm just copying this. Okay, so that's it with respect to what we are doing on the GitHub. So once after this is done, let's jump into the things that we have to do in the Studio perspective. So let's go to the project that you want to deploy the code from. So let's consider I want to deploy this API automation project. Okay, so what you have to do is, here in add to source control, you just have to select the Git Init. You have an option here. So once after you select that, it will be taking you to the project folder. So you have to select which project you wanted to deploy from. So this is an API automation, right? So you have to select API automation folder. So let's say if you're in some other folder, let's say blank process or something, it will throw an error that it's not a parent project folder. Okay, so the main thing here is just go back to your API automation and then select this particular folder. So once after that's done, you can see here all the modules or all the codes that are there inside your project folder have been given a plus. That means they are ready to be committed. Okay, so these are the different changes. So these are ready to be committed into the Git. So what you have to do is, let's say if you don't want this file, okay, then you can just uncheck this, or if you want this to be there in the Git, then you can check that. So in that way, you have an option to select what needs to be going in there. So let's say if you don't want debug file, then you can just uncheck that and then just write a commit message like initial commit publishing on so and so date. Okay, and then you can just click on commit and push. So once after you do that, you will be getting this window, which is a name and the URL. So here, what is a name that you wanted to give to the project? So the URL that you have copied, just paste it over here, and the name, let's have a same name, or the API automation, whatever you wanted to give it. So I'm giving the same name, demo git commit project, and then add it. So once after you add, you can see that project over here. Just save. So it is pushing the changes, but before to that, it will ask you for the credentials. So let's say if you're using your GitHub, then you can give your own username and the password that you use for logging in. Let's say if you're using with respect to the project or something, then you can request for the credentials that you can provide in here. And there's another option called as token. So if you were using token, then you can just you can have an option to generate a token. Let me show you how you can do that. So here in the GitHub, just go to the settings. Here in the settings, just scroll down. Okay, it's not over here. Just go to the settings in this place. So you can go to your personal account profile. So once after you scroll down, you will have something called as developer settings. So go over here, you have personal access tokens. So here you will have an option to generate a new token. So once after you click on generate new token, it will ask you what is the name of the token, and it expires in 30 days. Just have to give the permissions, like you wanted to, for what you want to access the commit status, or you want to deploy the status. So whatever, I have given all the permissions for my for my actions that I'm doing, like writing, reading, deleting, everything. So I have generated a token. So once after you click on generate token, you will get a token key. So if you can use that token key and deploy the code, it will be possible. So I am going to copy my token key. I'm going to resume the screen for a while. So I have taken my token key that I've already generated. So I pasted that key over here. So once, if you generate the token key, you can use it for multiple times based on the permissions that you have for that particular token. And I am giving my user ID for the Git. Okay. So once that's done, I just say okay. So you can see that the changes are being pushed. If you see whatever the plus sign is there, it's been changed, right? So now let's go into the Git and just go to the project repository, and we can see here it just got deployed, right? We have committed. This is my commit message, right? So this is how we can actually do. And this whole procedure will be the same for all the projects, but if you have already connected to this, so it shows that Git repository is already connected, right? So if you have already connected and given the permissions, then you don't have to do this again and again. So next time, let's say you came today and you wanted to work on some new module. Okay, so let's say I'm going to work on login module today, and then you can see here the login module would be coming up with a plus sign. That means it's a change. If you wanted to commit, that is a change that you have to deploy. Apart from that, all other remaining things would be same unless until you make some changes to that. So what I'm going to do, I'll just do a right click. I don't have to do I don't have to do the whole procedure again right from the scratch. I just have to click on commit. Okay, so once after I click on commit, I will have the things here displayed which is not there in the which is already not deployed, okay, into the GitHub previously. So debug, if you see, I have unchecked the debug last time. So if I want, I can add it into the GitHub. If I don't want, I can still remove it. Okay, and the login module. So let's say deploying login module. Okay, so I can just click on commit and push, and that's it. It will be pushing the changes. You don't have to provide the credentials all the time. It's just for one time. So let's go in here and refresh it. So we can see deploying login module. So we have deployed both debug and also the login module XAML file, right? So these both have this thing, and also with the timestamp. So this is how you can actually commit and push the changes into your GitHub by using these different methods. Like you can either go for credentials, or you can either generate a token. So I think this is clear for you. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about how we can clone, how we can, either use the code that's already there. And also, I'm thinking to deploy my projects into the GitHub, so you can access the projects that I am working on. So you will have all the input output files, and also you can able to access the XAMLs directly, and you can just customize them based on your requirement. But shortly I'll give you the links how you can access them from the GitHub and everything. So thank you so much for watching. If you find this video useful, do let me know in the comment section, and also don't forget to like my channel and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.